Let's have a conversation. Tell me what you think about the issues of the world. What kind of spice you wanna be? Tell me where you wanna travel. Do you believe in luxury? What's your hidden passion? What makes you so unique? Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole.
Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. Miaisha Mitchell, co-founder of the Tallahassee Food Network, iGrow Community Gardens, and the Health Equity Alliance of Tallahassee, leads the discussion on community gardens, food networks, food deserts, and healthy eating. Let's listen in on the conversation. So Miaisha, it's springtime, and I know as the co-founder of the Tallahassee Food Network, gardening and food is high on the list right now. So tell us about the Tallahassee Food Network, what it is, and who it serves.
Well, we've been around now for quite a few years. We've been working with young people and trying to provide good food for everyone in our community in the Fishtown area and around Tallahassee. We were actually started by young people, a
Really?
youth farm.
Okay.
Young people wanted to do more than just serve food. We were working with the Second Harvest Food Bank, and some of the kids said, we want to grow our own. And so we were the first group to start a farm at Second Harvest
Okay.
to provide produce
Well,
and for the families that are served there.
sounds like that's a good match since
It was
Second Harvest provides
It
food.
really, and so we provided the fresh food to complement the food that they were providing to their families. And as a result of that, the young people said, let's do our own garden.
Okay.
And so we found a spot that was donated by a private person on Dunn Street. And we were so excited, you know. And as that time rolled on, we started a second garden. So we're throughout Tallahassee now.
Okay.
We have requests from people all over the country. And there's several iGrow places throughout Florida now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in Georgia.
Wow, that's
We have one in
exciting.
Americas, Georgia. Jacksonville is establishing one,
Okay.
Sarasota. And we're working now to partner with our people in Detroit.
So why are community gardens so important?
Well, we thought early on, talking about food deserts and diabetes and obesity, those types of diseases that impact our families so much, that people need to have a way to grow some fresh, wholesome food. And so growing your own food is very important. We know years ago we had our own gardens. Now it's not as much as we were then. So young people don't grow as much food as our parents did or our grandparents did.
Gardening was a way of life
It was
back
the way
then.
you did things back in the day, and now we're trying to bring that back.
Right.
Because we do know that we are going to be a lot more food insecure in the future than what we are right now.
So being able to go to your garden every day and maybe pick some lettuce or tomatoes or carrots and
My
cucumbers
goodness.
to make a salad or
To watch your child do this, to put the seed in the ground, and then watch that carrot grow and you pull it up, it's like, oh wow, this is where it comes from. It's
like
not from the
magic,
grocery
huh?
store.
Right.
You should see that face.
It comes right out of the
Yeah.
ground. Yeah. So gardening should be a lifelong activity. And if you start out as a child growing seeds, planting seeds, watching them grow, and being able to harvest what you've grown
Right.
and eat, now you're going to have a much more greater appreciation for the food and for nature.
Exactly. So you have an appreciation for food and nature, but you also understand the value of the skills that you then acquire. Because young people don't have a lot of hand skills. So now when they grow food, it's like, oh, I've accomplished something. I'm good. I know how to do this. So that's the way of building their confidence and character. And we see that changing their whole sense of self, and how they can now contribute not only the food to their families, but they
Right.
can sell food that they grow,
Let's
which
talk
is a
about,
great
yeah,
thing.
so let's talk about that. So tell,
Yeah.
tell me about the commerce aspect of.
So, when you first ask somebody to grow a garden, they would say, I don't have time for that, I'm not interested. So they think it's just about growing food and putting your hands in the dirt. That's a big part of it. there's so many more aspects of it in urban agriculture today.
Okay.
So you look at not only the commercial side of it, so now you can develop a whole cottage industry around food. Many people who grow food and some of the food is not good to take out to the people in the community, now you can make additive. You know, you can make your salsas and your jellies and all those things from the things you grow.
Right.
And you can sell those things out of your home. You know, so you learn how to become a young entrepreneur early.
Yes.
In our case, the young people not only learn to grow the food, but they sell it at the market.
Okay.
So now they're thinking, oh, this can be a business.
Right.
I can make money.
Right.
And so those who are in training as a leadership core that we have for the young people, once they've gone through a certain element in learning how to produce, you know, how to do the technology component of it, how to market, how to do the sales, they become what we call the leadership core. And the leadership core then gets a stipend to train other children to grow. And we're hoping to develop a pipeline from iGrow straight to FAMU for urban ag and for agriculture and other types of environmental soil sciences, kinds of things that young people can develop in the whole wide network of food.
Which would create a great pipeline.
Yes, it would.
Yes.
Because many of us don't think about the processes that it would, you know, we can do with food. You know, the kinds of potential there is in growing food and then making that a commerce.
This segment is brought to you by Brown & Brown Attorneys at Law. Stay tuned for more conversations.
You know, we can do it with food. You know, the kinds of potential there is in growing food and then making that a commerce. You know.
So tell me about some of the programs that you all offer within the garden or the network.
Well, the main thing is around how to grow your good food. You know, leadership, education. We work with the schools. We do community gardens.
Really?
We work with school gardens. We have schools we've identified to help them learn to grow their own food at the garden and at the school. And some schools have really begun to adopt the whole idea of training the students and getting food into the cafeteria. So farm to school is a big deal. We still are working with the USDA around how to make that real in Tallahassee for a garden at every school.
Okay. Are there some best practices that you all are looking to serve as an example for?
Yeah, we have a partner in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's Will Allen. He's a very well-known former football player, and he's developed a growing power movement there. There's another group out of, I think, Detroit, and Detroit has done very well with the D-Town Gardens. And so they have set a very well defined model for urban ag and community-based initiatives with young people and with families and self-sufficiency. So we look at that and think, oh, this works. Not only does it work for growing food, but it helps people to deal with chronic illnesses and diseases that people don't typically think about, which is food related, many of them, particularly with diabetes and obesity.
Well, let's touch on the urban ag for just a moment. You know, I think sometimes people think garden, I have to have, acres and acres of land in order to grow something, but that's not necessarily the case, right?
It is not the case. Our young people were very creative, and one thing they designed was the iGrow bucket. This bucket is something people can use who do not have access to land, who may not have enough space in a local apartment. You can grow in a balcony, like we used to do years ago, you grow in your windowsill, whatever it takes. And so you can take this bucket that they designed themselves with support from some designers from the ITT Tech that help them to develop this self-filtering watering bucket. And so you can grow the bucket with either just the soil we can give to you, and or you can put a seed in it, or you can have a plant in it, or you can have a fully developed plant. And they have used that as a potential marketing maker. So they're marketing it, and those buckets could sell for from $18 to $35.
Really?
Yeah, so they've made money, $5,000 in the past year. And they're growing about 1,200 pounds of food every year, at least on the minimum. And then now growing and showing people how to build beds. So in urban ag, they're building raised beds where people don't necessarily have places to grow food. They can make a place. So we're growing beds with iGrow buckets, and with the idea that you can not only farm, feed, and you can learn how to cook, which is another aspect of the work that we do.
Wow.
We teach the children how to cook. We have a chef, Chef Shack, who works with us and makes that happen with the young people. They get a feel for, oh, now I know that I can buy food, I can grow it.
So now that you've planted the seed, you've watched it grow, you've harvested, now learning how to cook the food that you harvest.
And the exciting part is that many of those young people now who never were interested in agriculture are choosing to major and go into the food industry.
That's great.
Big business.
That's great. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, we all have to eat.
Every day.
Right.
That's something that's going to continue.
So why not grow our own food, know where it comes from, what the nutrients and whatnot that are put into the soils. I know you all also do your own composting as well.
Oh, now definitely. Particularly since we try not to use any artificial chemicals or anything like that in our food, we try to carry it to the soil as well. And so there's a mechanism in place where people can actually bring their waste to the garden and we can compost that. People can actually pick up composting there if they'd like to use it in their own gardens at home or in their communities, wherever they want. And then we have a person who does all that work. You know, Sandiati is excellent in that regard. Okay. So he has done some wonderful work and taught our children how to do it as well. So composting is another whole industry that we haven't even touched on in terms of being able to make an economic survival living for yourself.
Wow.
You know,
that is
it takes a while.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
It's very good and it's exciting. It sort of draws a little heat because the compost is so hot. So the kids talk about that all the time. If it's cold, they love it, but if it's hot, it's like sweating.
Gotcha.
So they learn all the elements and learn about the soil and the nutrients and how valuable it is in growing food.
Okay. All right. Well, you all stay tuned for more conversations.
This segment is brought to you by Brown & Brown Attorneys at Law. Stay tuned for more conversations.
Joining me now is Mark Tancig of IFAS UF Leon County Extension. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you for having me, Nicole.
So you've been with Cooperative Extension for about a year now.
Yes, ma'am.
Now tell me your title.
I am the Commercial Residential Horticulture Agent.
And what does a Commercial Residential Horticulture Agent do?
Okay, so there's the commercial part and the residential part, and I do with the both audiences different things. So there's reactive, so I respond to questions about gardening, you know, pests, disease, you know, what do I plant here, when do I plant this, when do I fertilize, all that kind of stuff. And then also proactive education as well. So I go out into the community, I do presentations to homeowner groups, you know, garden enthusiasts, and also for the commercial side, do some of the pesticide certifications that they need to do their, you know, spray their herbicides and pesticides, and to make sure that they're just, you know, they have a good level of professionalism so that they're doing their job well.
Wow, so you've got quite a few things that you cover under being
Yes, everything from how to grow plants to how to control pests and, you know, even the household pests like roaches, termites, and bed bugs.
Okay, so our focus on this segment is on community gardens. Okay. And community gardens have kind of, I don't know, blossomed over the past few years. And I know you've probably seen that in and around this area. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think that in general in the nation, maybe even worldwide, you know, people are becoming more aware of, you know, what they eat kind of really affects their health. So, you know, now even fast food chains are selling salads and healthy options and that kind of stuff. So, you know, people are aware of that, you know, what they take in affects their health and people want to be healthy. So gardening, community gardening is a good way to, you know, provide yourself with some healthy food. And then we have local groups that are, you know, kind of building excitement around this as well, like Tallahassee Food Network and iGrow and Extension and different groups are, you know, kind of tapping into that desire of folks to grow their own food and helping them out. And so the other thing too is people love to, you know, there's nothing like eating fresh vegetables right out of the garden.
I agree.
Adults, kids, they all can appreciate that. And so once they start, they want to keep going. So I think it's just a natural excitement of it all.
Indeed. Within your capacity at the Cooperative Extension, are you working with local groups yourself?
Yes. So at the Extension office, there's several different kind of departments, divisions, and I'm the horticulture section. There's also agriculture, and so we have an extension agents in agriculture, Molly Jameson and Trevor Hilton. Trevor's with the FAMU extension, and we all kind of work together. Food and nutrition program is another part of extension where we are encouraging folks to grow food, having workshops on how do you grow food, backyard vegetable gardening type workshops. And we're also working with schools. You know, a lot of schools in our county want to provide that experience to children. And so we're helping the teachers learn how to garden, and hopefully trying to get them connected to volunteers that are gardeners that can help the teachers actually sustain these gardens at their schools.
And the volunteers would be the master gardeners?
Correct. Some master gardeners, college students, or just folks in the community that are garden enthusiasts that have time. Mostly they're retired. They have time that they can offer their time to the schools to, because teachers got a lot of stuff they got to keep up with. So
they do.
The garden is usually something extra that they're passionate about. So if we can help them make the garden even better and reduce their responsibilities with the garden, that would be, ideal.
Conversations with Nicole. Come and have a little talk with me.
So community gardens as it relates to urban areas, are you seeing any of that go on? And is it even realistic for folks that live in urban areas that don't have, acres of land to plant? Is it realistic for them to try to have a garden in the urban areas?
Several community gardens have popped up on, say, vacant properties, whether it be city or county owned, or some private lot that someone's willing to give up for a community garden. So that helps. If someone's living in an apartment complex and doesn't have actual space, they can walk down the street hopefully, and there's a community garden that they have access to. Even examples, the longtime FAMU community garden over on Orange Avenue. So it's definitely, a way for folks that don't have a lot of land to get access to just a little piece of dirt that they can garden. And Trevor Hilton likes to talk about really simple hydroponic kits that you can just do on a patio. You don't even need soil. That will provide you with some fresh vegetables that, again, just getting that taste of fresh food and access to it can be done in small spaces.
Indeed. I've actually attended some of the workshops that Trevor has done on building greenhouses and as well as gardening in small spaces.
Yes.
Very innovative ways of...
Yes, he's got a great presentation of innovative gardens.
Indeed. So, the importance of healthy food and healthy food choices is, as you've mentioned, kind of sweeping the nation. Is that something that you think will be ongoing? Is it, you think it's just a trend or a fad, or?
Well, I hope it's not, because as there's more and more people, there's less and less space. Especially folks move to the cities, and the cities get larger. Hopefully people continue with this wanting to be healthy and wanting to get outside, wanting to garden, because it's, not only is it good for your, physical health, but mental health and everything else. So I think it's something that will stick, because, again, there's this idea of, we want to not just treat eat healthy food for ourselves, but also for the environment. And I see more of the young folks kind of being wanting to make sure they take good care of the earth, be good stewards of the earth, and community gardening and raising your own food is one way to do that.
Have you noticed any changes from the time that you've got started? I know you've been involved with sustainability and ecosystems and that sort of thing, but have you seen any trends or changes, since you've kind of gotten involved in this work?
Yeah, when I moved to Tallahassee, that was about 14 years ago, and the only community garden we had was the the Orange Avenue FAMU garden, as far as I know. And now, there's several, in the dozens around town. Community gardens, a lot more school gardens. So yeah, I've seen an increase in, people being aware of these gardens and wanting to participate in the gardens. And so hopefully we can, keep it going.
Good. Now, if you were to give us some gardening tips, what could you share with us?
Oh, that's a good question. So, good soil.
Good soil.
Plenty of sunlight.
Plenty of sunlight.
Keep it watered.
Keep it watered.
And it's work. Don't forget that gardening is work.
It's work.
It's not just, you just put some seeds in there and you leave it and it's done. You got to work at it.
You do have to work at it.
Got to be patient.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Nope. And choose the right varieties. And with help with all that, you can contact us at the Extension office and we'll walk you through it and help you out.
So final question as we close out. How important are bees to this process?
Oh, bees are very important because bees pollinate a good chunk of our food crops. So, yes, there's lots of issues affecting bees. And so being aware of those issues and trying to reduce your kind of impact and supporting, beekeepers is a great thing to do.
Okay, good. So how can one get involved or get in contact with the Extension office to utilize you all's service?
Well, you can come on by Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We're at 615 Paul Russell Road, so right by the fairgrounds across the street from Jack McLean Park. You can call us up, 606-5200. Ask for Mark, ask for whoever you're looking for. And we are having a big open house May 13th. So, come on down, say hi, introduce yourselves, learn about some of the different program areas that we have there. And we're pretty friendly, so just come on down and say hi and ask any question you got.
You certainly are. Thank you so much for your time today, Mark.
You're welcome. Thank you for Nicole.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Tune in next time for Conversations with Nicole.
Thank you for tuning in to Conversations with Nicole, where we connect the community through conversations. For more information on this or previous shows, visit Conversations with Nicole on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I am Nicole Everett, and we'll see you next time.
Conversations with Nicole. Come and have a little talk with me. Conversations with Nicole. Come on and speak to me. Conversations with Nicole. Talk about the issues of the world. Conversations with Nicole. Have a conversation with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole.
Conversations with Nicole, where we're connecting the community through conversations. Thursday at 11:30 a.m. on Fox Tallahassee.